All right, everybody, welcome back to Skyway Classics YouTube channel. We're now going for a ride in our 1966 Chevy Chevelle Convertible. Of course, you know, 66 was the first year the Chevelle actually looked more of a muscle car than an old man's car. This one we have here featuring a red exterior with a white power top, and I will say that again, is a white power top, not a manual top. As you can see, it does have some of its old school looks with a little new modifications to it, such as the modernized US mag wheels, giving it a little more of a swaggy profile, but still, I prefer the old Craigers, maybe even Rallies, but that's just personal opinion. You do have the super sport style hood. You have the front and rear bumper guards. As you can see, it does have the appropriate SS badges, super sport and 396 emblems on the front and back. Moving on to the inside, you can see it is an automatic on the column. Very weird to see them on the column, seeing as most of the time they switch to a floor shifter, aftermarket 4-speed, or even some other weird thing that doesn't really match with the car. But you got the big wooden grain steering wheel. You got all your stock gauges actually working. Best part about them was they're all needle gauges, not the light up gauges, because most of the time the light up gauges would always be a fault or some other ridiculous mess. You can also see we have an aftermarket 2-knob style radio. Underneath, you do have the original style tachometer, which was very popular in a lot of their older cars. I really wish they put them in a lot of their cars factory rather than a special edition. Our interior, you got the finest vinyl material on the front and rear seats. The emblems are embroidered perfectly. The bench sheet feels like it's brand new. You know, all the way around, 4-way lap belts. Of course, back in 66, you didn't really need to worry about all the traffic disaster you have today in 2025. It was simple, get in, go about maybe 40 miles an hour and never have to worry about anything. Even so, you have your vent windows, all your window cranks, the power top switch being right underneath the dash. And of course, you can see on the lower side, we have vents for the vintage AC system. Moving on to the engine bay, it does have a 396 big block motor. As you can see, it does have its appearance of the Chevy Orange, along with chrome American #1 valve covers, stock aluminum, or should I say, cast iron manifolds, which is what really came with this car back in the day. And of course, with its stock appearance, it has that stock sound. Not really a built-up Chevy Chevelle, but more the ones you'd buy straight from the factory. Leading underneath to a 12-bolt rear end, dual exhaust system, and of course, being a full-frame car, you got the biggest support in case you ever do want to build it. But before we get into it a little bit more, the best part about this car is if you do see from the VIN, it is a true 138 car, which means it was born as an SS, not a Malibu, not tributed, but of course a real SSS, which everybody really loves and wants to have for themselves. But as for now, we are just going to take a little bit of a cruise. I'm personally going to enjoy this ride, and then we're going to get it up on the lift. So if you have a moment, folks, please stay tuned with us to see the underneath.